Every student at Blackflint learns to make light before they learn anything else. A small flame, conjured in the cupped palm. It is the first lesson, the easy lesson, the one even the weakest child can manage by the end of the first week. Kai will be remembered for a long time as the only student in 300 years who made the lesson go backwards. He did not light a flame that first morning in the practice hall. He put out everyone else's. There were 9 of them in the first year's practice hall, and Kai made 9. He knew most of them only by colour. 2 in Varn blue, stiff and serious. 3 in Moran green-grey, who watched everything and said little. Ren was not among them, and Kai was surprised by how much he wished she were. A boy and a girl, in the deep red of House Saith. The blood, who held themselves like people used to being obeyed. 1 in sail white, a tall boy named Corin with a face like a closed door, and Det in his plain grey, who caught Kai's eye and gave him a small, terrified, encouraging nod from across the room. The instructor was a thin woman named Mistress Vale, of no house Kai could identify, with chalk-pale hands and a voice like a dripping tap. "Light," she said, "is the beginning of everything. Control the smallest flame, and you have begun to control yourself." She lifted one pale hand, and a bead of fire bloomed above her palm, steady and gold. "Cup your hand. Breathe. Reach for the warmth that is already inside you, and let it out." Around the room, one by one, small flames began to appear. The Varn pair, with effort. The Saith girl, easily, almost lazily. Corin in his sail white, his flame burning a cold, clean blue. Even Det, after a few tries and a great deal of sweating, produced a small, wobbling spark that made him laugh out loud in delight before it winked out. Then Mistress Vale came to Kai. "You," she said, "the unreadable one. We shall see what you can do." Kai cupped his hand. He breathed. He reached for the warmth he was supposed to find inside himself. And the room went dark. Not all at once. That was the horror of it. Kai felt it happen slowly, felt it travel. Corin's cold blue flame guttered first, then died. The Saith girl's lazy fire shrank to a coal and went black. One by one, around the whole circle, every flame in the room bent toward Kai, as though he were a draft under a door, stretched thin and snuffed out. Even the lamps along the walls dimmed and failed. Even Mistress Vale's perfect golden bead, the instructor's own flame, shuddered, shrank, and died in her cupped and suddenly trembling hand. For 3 full heartbeats, the practice hall was utterly black. Then the wall lamps caught again on their own, flickering back the way the candles had in the reading hall, and the room came back into grey daylight, and 9 first years stood staring at Kai as though he had grown a second head. Kai's hand was still cupped. It was cold. It had never in his life been so cold. He looked up and found every face turned to him, and on every face the same thing. Not curiosity, not even cruelty. Fear. "It went out," the Saith girl whispered. "He didn't make light. He ate it. He ate all of it." "That's not possible," said one of the Varn boys, but his voice shook. Corin, the boy in sail white, said nothing at all. He simply looked at Kai with his closed-door face, and then he turned and walked out of the practice hall, and everyone in the room understood that he was going to tell someone who would want to know, that the unreadable boy did not fail at magic. He devoured it. They scattered him after that. Mistress Vale dismissed the class early in a voice that dripped faster than usual, and the 9 first years fled, like the dark itself was chasing them. Kai walked back toward his tower alone, the way he had walked most places in his life, and tried not to feel how the few students he passed in the corridors stepped wide around him, the way you step around a hole in the ice. Ren was waiting on the tower stair, sitting on a step with her chin on her knees, as though she had been there for hours. "You've had an interesting morning," she said. "You heard already. The whole island heard already. By lunch, they'll have you breathing fire and eating babies." She unfolded herself and stood, and for once she wasn't smiling. "Listen to me. What happened in that room? You have to understand what it looked like. Magic doesn't go out near a person. It can be blocked. It can be shielded, bound, stolen. Varn does the first, Sail the second, my house the third. But it doesn't just die. What you did has a name, Kai, even if no one will say it. And the people who do know the name are exactly the people you don't want knowing yours." "I didn't do it on purpose," Kai said. "I don't even know what I did." "I believe you," Ren said. And the strange thing was that she clearly did. That's the problem. A weapon that goes off by accident frightens people far more than one that's aimed. She caught his sleeve. "Here is what we're going to do. You are going to be bad at magic. Do you understand me? From today, you are slow, you are weak, you try hard, and you fail. You let them think the dark thing was a fluke, a sickness, a bad day. You make yourself boring. Because right now, the only thing keeping you alive is that nobody is certain what you are. And certainty on this island is what gets people drowned." Kai looked at her. "Why are you helping me?" "Really?" "Not the secret's answer. The real one." Ren was quiet for a long moment. The cleverness went out of her face again, the way it had at the window, and what was underneath looked very young and very tired. "'Cause everyone here belongs to a house," she said. "From the day they're born. They never once get to choose. And I have spent my whole life being something my house made me." She looked away. "You're the first person I ever met who isn't owned by anyone yet. I suppose I want to see what that looks like. Before they fix it." Then her smile came back, like a shutter closing. "Also, you're going to be extremely useful, and I intend to be standing next to you. Don't let the sentiment go to your head." They made it properly that night, in the cold tower room. By the light of a single lamp Kai was careful to sit far away from. Not a magic oath. Kai had none, and Ren said the magic oaths were how houses chain people anyway. They made the older kind. The kind two people with nothing make when they decide to have each other. "You tell me what you learn about what I am," Kai said. "Everything. Even the parts your house would want kept back." Ren winced. "That's a hard promise for a Moran. I know. That's why I'm asking for it." She thought about it for a long time. Then she nodded. "Everything I learn, you learn. And in exchange?" "In exchange," Kai said, "when you finally have to choose between me and your house, and you will, you already know you will, you tell me first, before you choose. You don't just disappear and let me find out from the knife." Something flickered across Ren's face. Surprise, maybe, that he'd seen that far down the road already. "You're learning," she said quietly. "That's exactly the choice they'll make me make." She held out her hand, palm up, the way you'd offer to shake. But then she turned it over, showing him the violet shadow mark on the inside of her wrist, the way Kai's black ring sat on his. A mark for a mark. "All right, Kai No House. Before I choose, you'll know." "That's my promise." Try not to make me keep it too soon. Outside, the sea went on with its endless grinding against the rocks. Inside, two marked children sat in a tower and decided, against all the law and custom of the island, to trust each other a little. It was the most dangerous thing either of them had ever done. Kai fell asleep believing he had a sickness, a defect, a thing that broke magic and would have to be hidden like a limp. He was wrong, and the wrongness mattered. Far below him, in the west undercroft, behind a door he had been told not to open, the truth waited in the dark, and the truth was this: Kai's mark didn't break magic. It ate it. Every flame that died in that practice hall had not simply gone out. Its small warmth, its little portion of the world's power, had gone somewhere. It had gone into the thin black ring on a boy's wrist, the way water goes into dry ground. Silently, completely, and without leaving a mark anyone living knew how to read. Kai was not a broken thing. Kai was hungry, and he had only just begun to feed. That was Sigil and Ash, Episode 3, The Candle That Fears Him. The story continues in Episode 4, The Empty House. Subscribe to follow Kai's story.